Hi everybody, my name is Luis Garcia and welcome to my tutorial. This tutorial is based on the types of questions needed in listening comprehension skill for taking the TOEFL IBT test. First of all, we have the GIST questions, which basically ask about the overall ideas of a passage as a whole, principally about the subject, topic, or main idea of a passage. To answer these kind of questions, we must listen carefully to the beginning of the conversation or lecture, and then as you listen, take quick note and prepare your ideas of the passage about what the speakers are saying. In order to identify this question, you have to keep in mind these examples. What is the subject of the passage? What is the topic of the discussion? What is the professor mainly discussing? Or why does the student go to see the advisor? Detailed questions. These questions ask about specific pieces of information that are stated in the passage. You should focus on the major details while you are listening. To test the text, multiple choice questions are given where you have to choose one or two correct answers. To answer these questions, you must listen carefully to the details in the passage, taking quick note on key terms, or look for an answer that correctly restates the information from the passage. For identifying these kind of questions, it's necessary to keep in mind the phrases. What is stated in the passage about? What is indicated in the passage about? According to the speaker, what does the professor say about? Function questions. These questions are based on testing the function or purpose of the speaker's words, a speaker's stance or attitude toward a particular subject. Most of these questions look like this. Listen again to part of the passage. Why does the speaker say this? What does the speaker mean? Or what does the speaker imply? To answer these questions, you have to listen carefully to what the speaker says and the surrounding context in the part of the passage that is repeated, and draw a conclusion about why the speaker says it. Stance questions. These questions ask about the speaker's stance or attitude, which could be opinions, feelings, and degrees of certainty. Besides, the speaker may express likes or dislikes or concerns. You should be able to determine if the speaker feels impressed, enthusiastic, or bored about a particular topic. Usually, these kind of questions look like this. Listen again to part of the passage. What does the speaker mean? What can be inferred about the speaker? And what is the speaker's attitude or opinion? To answer this question, you should listen carefully to what the speaker says and how the speaker says it in the part of the passage that is repeated. Pay attention to the tone of the speaker's voice and draw a conclusion about the speaker feels. Organization questions. These kind of questions are about the organization of the ideas or about the relationships between or among ideas. To answer these questions, you must listen carefully to specific details and examples in the passage. Think about how the passage is organized by comparison or contrast, cause and effect. Look for an answer that shows how the examples or details fit into the organization of the passage. To identify these questions, you have to identify these phrases. Why do the speakers discuss? Why do the speakers mention? How is the information organized? What is explained by the example of, or what is illustrated by the example of. Click a check mark in the correct column, or click or a check mark in the correct box. Relationship questions. These questions are based on recognition of different ideas or pieces of information in the passage are related. You may ask to draw a conclusion, predict an outcome, make an inference, recognize a sequence, or determine the cause of a certain effect. To answer these questions, you should listen carefully to each of the points in the passage and how the speakers react to each other's ideas. Based on the overall conversation, you have to draw a conclusion about the speaker's meaning. Look for an answer that expresses a relationship that can be inferred from information in the talk. To identify these questions, it's necessary to keep in mind the phrases. What will the speaker probably or likely do next? What does the speaker imply? And what can be inferred?